probably has a view on all this. West Virginia Senator Joe Manchin is here. Recently announced he's switched his registration from Democrat to Independent. Heather Manchin is here at the brush. She's Senator Manchin's daughter, the former CEO of Mylan and the founder and CEO of Americans Together, with aims to get political donors to back centrist candidates. Good morning.
Good morning.
To both of you.
Good morning, Joe.
It's great to have you
hey,
here.
Joe, you look good for 50. I can't believe it. What do you do exactly? What's your secret?
I've been set free, Joe. I've been set free. I'm an independent, set free.
Yeah, trying to promote those democratic ideals. Now that must be a lot easier for you. You know.
Just good American ideals. That's all.
That's it.
So you guys woke up early for us, so we appreciate it, on a debate day, and I'm hoping both of you can expound on what you think we're going to see tonight, and how important or not, maybe depending on how you view it, tonight really is.
Andrew, what I would like to see, not what I think I'm going to see, I have no idea. A lot could happen. It could be fireworks, as we know, or it could be basically two people who I want to see that are quality people who could be leading this country. So I'm looking for that. I'm looking for the leader of the free world to show the rest of the world that we can lead and we can come together. So I know as divisive and as our country is right now, and people picking sides, it's almost like a sporting event. Right. It's not. It's not.
You've been a Biden man, though, in the past.
I've known Joe Biden for a long time. We've been friends. I want Joe Biden to be the old Joe Biden I've known. He's gone too far to the left. And we've had this conversation, he and I. I'd like to see him come back to the centrist Joe Biden that he has been, being able to make a deal with both sides, never looking at the other side as your enemy, but your friend who has a different idea. But now it's at the point they're just going at, if you're a D, you're supposed to hate R's. If you're an R, you're supposed to hate D's. And I said, I can't take it anymore. I like both sides. I want to work with both sides.
Okay, real quick, because then I want to ask Heather a question about how CEOs think about this for a second. But could you see yourself voting for the former President Trump?
I have a hard time, and I'll tell you why. The orderly transfer, to me, we've been able to, for 250 years, navigate through really some tough times as a country. And I was asked, what would our founding fathers think of us today? They might be amazed that we're still here, 250, or they'd be so proud that we've been able to weather the storm by self-governing, people governing themselves. But with that, orderly transfer of power and rule of law, the two things, the staple anchors that we have. And former President Trump, basically, I'm afraid, would challenge those to where he doesn't accept orderly transfer of power, or protecting the rule of law and the judicial system. That's all we've got. That makes us so much different than any place else in the world.
Does that mean your mind is made up there, or is there something you could say tonight that would change it?
I don't know. We'll have to see. Tonight's a big night. We're going to see what happens.
Heather, speak to this, though, because you're a former CEO of Mylan. You've spent a lot of time in the CEO community, and we've been having lots of conversations, even in the past week or two, about whether CEOs are supposed to speak out, not speak out, whether this year is somehow different than in the past. Jeff Sonnenfeld had a piece in the New York Times that went around. We've been debating on the air. What do you think?
I think it's like everything else. We have gotten to such a point that it's been so weaponized to have an opinion. I think that what makes your life, compromise, common ground, getting around, and CEOs do it every day. You've got to find ways to navigate your way through the public markets, through your industry. Right. So we should be able to sit down with administrations and with senators and Congress and have discussions about what needs to happen on a policy. And we've made it so personal that if you have to either like everything or nothing, and you're pitted against a side. So I feel for CEOs today. It's like I can't comment on a policy, good or bad, because then that means I'm endorsing everything about everybody.
But how much of it today is a worry about what the customer is going to think, and how much of it is a worry about what the former president might think if he becomes the president, right? I mean, part of it is that there's sort of the customer issue, and there's the shareholder issue, and then there's, by the way, what government could do to you. For
sure. That's the problem. So not only are we weaponizing it, but our politicians are weaponizing it. So when you hear people lash out to want to call out a position that a company is taking or a CEO vocalizes, right, I think the personalization is what's got to end. We've got to have respectable conversations with each other again, and not hold each other accountable to words.
What do you think as somebody in politics?
Well, let me just say this, that I don't hear, for the last decade, I have not heard anyone saying, enough. This is good for the country. Let's do this. This is good for the country. We know that we've got to fix the border. We know that we've got to tackle this debt. Almost $35 trillion of debt. We cannot sustain this. This will be the first time since World War II that we're going to be paying more on interest to satisfy our debt than we are to defend our country. It makes no sense at all, and we're digging ourselves a hole. So we know how to fix this, but the bottom line is they'd rather basically blame you. The system works, the duopoly of the businesses of the Democrat and Republican. If I can blame you, I look better than you.
Okay, but hold on. You just made 2 points about immigration, or the border, really, and about the debt and deficits.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of people would look at President Biden and say, he's not scored on those fronts.
Well, let me just put it this way. As far as on the border, I've been saying from day one, we've got to fix that border. You've got to basically control the border. You can't have pardon at the border and catch and release everything that went on. He can say from defending himself, President Biden, is that out of the compassion he had for people who are displaced around the world after COVID, but he never it went too far. We got overrun. Now he can say also, but the Republicans, we had a bill, a bipartisan bill. And James Langford, who's a good friend of mine, I wasn't sure James could ever get there, but he did. And then he walked away from him because President Trump. So who's the worst? You follow me? That's what politics. You want to know what's wrong with politics? We could fix the gun problem. We could fix, in 2013, we had a bill. We had the Manchin-Toomey bill as far as in 2013 on background checks. Politics prevented that from happening.